Okay, product design and technology. The day is Tuesday, May 26th. The topic is processes that you can allow your chair design to jump off the page as a mock-up and leading into a swatch sample that will help you with your final finishes for the final presentation model. Keeping in mind that your mock-up is half the size of your presentation model. So this one constructed with card, paddle pop sticks and corrugated card is 160mm tall, so the final model will be double that size. Okay, so beginning with the orthogonal preferred design option and leading into production with part A of our project. We explored 4 out of the 6 different joints and shapes here, which we did via Google Classroom. So here we have number 1, rebate. Number 2, housing joint. Number 3 is the curve, which we applied to the ribs to go underneath the seat. In the same way that we did last term in timber. Also here's the housing slot. So this is just like a tighter version, a slimmer version of the housing joint. And this is a variation on the mortise and tenon joint, which is a mortise and tenon slot, which you'll see was applied to the mock-up. Okay, so from those practice joints in the materials from your kit that you're given in week 2, we then went back to your preferred option and then created some cutout templates. So here I began with side view with the arch of the legs, both front and back, and also the tilt, the angle on the seat with its armrest. From that, those sections were cut out and repeated, which joined the left and right sides of the legs. If I just turn this to the front view, now looking underneath the armrests, the structure underneath the seat, and top view, back view, side view, both left side and right side. And you can probably see some differences from the left and right according to what I was experimenting with. So the mock-up was exploration. It wasn't about a finished product. It was about testing joints, seeing how the form works, and how all the shapes come together, and considering how that might work at a larger scale. The cutout of the legs, inspiration from that came from a radiata pine stool that I made as a sample for the U9s for their projects, which had cut out legs as well, be a different shape. And also a consideration with the corrugated card that was more symbolic, representing another material such as corduroy or textured stripy material that could go on a padded chair. But you can actually use, when it comes back to creating your swatch, you can actually use the material itself that you might apply to the presentation model. In this case here, I just experimented with something symbolic and then looked at how it could be applied when you added colour and a finish on top. Okay, so moving on from part A to part B. That involves the construction, doubling the scale of the chair. In this case, 160 millimeters high will turn into 320 mil high for the final model. In the process of making that model, and if I commit myself to using these materials, along the way you'll create a swatch sample of colours and materials during your construction that you apply once the work has been completed to finish it off. So this swatch sample has examples of plywood, corrugated card and paddle pop sticks. 4 different pigmented inks have been applied together with Danish oil. So a few of the examples of the ink and oil on pine-based plywood. Then in the same range of colours, in the same order, crimson, light blue, lemon yellow and orange. It's on paddle pop sticks, and in the same order again on the corrugated card. A bit hard to see in the video here, but in the top right corner I've painted a square using Danish oil just to see what one layer of Danish oil, how it would work on top of the corrugated card. And here it is painted over part of the pigmented ink as well to see the difference in its effects. So basically we've got 3 weeks to complete the final presentation chair. So consider what materials you're going to use. You have a kit of materials. You can include plywood, particularly structurally in your final design. And consider along the way too what is plus, minus and interesting about your mock-up chair.